So what we did yesterday was practiced substitution. And substitution is especially important here when you have a formula. So here's a formula we used in first semester, changing from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And it says use the formula Celsius equals 5/9 Fahrenheit minus 32 to convert 104 Fahrenheit to Celsius. So in this one, we want to find Celsius, and we know the value in Fahrenheit. So as far as the formula goes, we don't know the Celsius. We can put in the numbers 5/9 bracket. Where the Fahrenheit is, I'm going to put brackets and I'm going to enter a number. What number am I going to put in? 104. Minus 32. There's our formula. All we've done is substituted 104 in for Fahrenheit. Booklet. Now we can go through our order of operations, or because you have nice calculators, you can also just type in this whole thing. If your calculator is nice enough, you can go. Mine is really nice that I can do a fraction 5/9 bracket 104 bracket minus 32 bracket. Type it in exactly as it showed up, push enter, and I get my answer is 40 degrees. If you are wanting to show some work and do order of operations would say do what's inside the brackets first. So if I did what's inside the brackets first, 104 minus 32, could go to my calculator for that as well. I get 72. 72, and then I could go 5/9 divided times 72. So that I could do on my calculator, 5 divided by 9 times 72, and get 40 that way as well. So we get our answer as 40 degrees. Does anyone know how to do this with mental math? Does that look mental mathable? Ooh. Is that a word? Mental mathable? Mental math. 5 divided by 9, not easy to do. Doesn't work out nicely. But we have 5/9 times 72, which is 72 over 1. Can you divide those? What's it equal to? 72 divided by 9. It's equal to 8. So then you would get 5 times 8, which is 40 degrees. Our next example with a formula. This formula is on your formula sheet. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Find the area to 2 decimal places if the radius is 5. So if they tell us the radius is 5, we know that r is equal to 5. And we can use substitution. And where the r is, plug in a 5. Once again, our calculators are so nice, I would tell you just type this all into your calculator. So pi times 5 squared, could write it that way. Or if you want to write it exactly, pi, and then we put bracket, 5 bracket squared. That's exactly what our note said. Calculators are so nice now that you can type exactly what you see on your paper into your calculator. And I can say so nice now because when I was your age, calculators were backwards, and you couldn't see what you were typing. You had to remember what you had typed. And if you tried to type too many things in there and pushed enter, you didn't know, did I forget something or not? Now calculators, you can see what you typed. You can write brackets. There was no brackets on my calculator. So 78.5. So life with calculators has become better. It says to 2 decimal places. I only have 1 decimal place. Hey, what am I going to write for my second decimal place? I'm going to write a 4 because I look at the third one. I'm going to have to round up 25.4. And since the radius is 5 centimeters, what's going to be my unit for area? Centimeters squared. Perfect. Oh, you guys remember some stuff from first semester? That is awesome. Part B. They tell us the diameter is 7. So I have my formula, but my formula doesn't have a diameter in it. It has a radius in it. You just have to take half of it, right? The diameter, remember, our definitions are so important. Our diameter is all the way across. Our radius just goes from the center. So if our diameter is 7, our radius would be 3.5. And just like before, put brackets, replace the r with 3.5, go to our calculator, pi bracket 3.5 bracket squared, push enter, 38.48. Our units were still centimeters, so our area will be centimeters squared. One more. This one I want you to try on your own. It's got 2 things to substitute in. Walking around looks like everybody was doing well. So we want to find the volume, so the v would stay. 1 divided by 3, pi, we know the radius is 5, so put brackets and squared, and we know the height is 10, so we put brackets where the h was and put a 10. Okay? Again, our calculators are nice. So 1 divided by 3. Pi, bracket, 5, bracket, squared, bracket, 10. So you can type in the whole thing. Once you realize you can type in the whole thing, and each calculator is a little bit different, so I'm going to say that I have the ability on my calculator to make the 1/3 look like that. Some of you don't, so then if you have fractions, you could put your fraction as 1 divided by 3 and just put it in brackets. And then you could do all of the other stuff, pi, bracket 5, bracket squared, bracket 10. This will give you the same answer. Ooh, this is a good challenging one for rounding to 2 decimal places. How do you round it to 2 decimal places? Right? Round up. So what number am I going to write? 261.80. Because you round up 79 would round up to 80.
Wait, so decimals can't be like that, like the decimal places can't be.
What do you mean?
Like I mean is like let's say if it is like the decimal place lands like on like an uneven number, so you would have to round it up to even numbers.
Right, so here it's a 9, which is an odd number, so it rounds up. Here it's an even number, that's 7, would round that up to a 9. But if at any time you're rounding a 9 up, the next number would be 0, but that would cause the 79 to go to 80.